Namaste everyone, welcome again. In this lecture we will see accounting books and statements. First we will see journal. The objectivity or verifiable objective principle of accounting requires that there must be adequate evidences to support each and every transaction recorded in the book of account. Such evidences is in the form of various business documents such as voucher, invoices, bills, cash memos, receipt, etc. These documents are called source documents. Now, whenever we go somewhere, like suppose we go in hotel and order something, then after taking that order we receive one bill. Now that bill is a proof that I have paid some amount in that hotel, right? So that bill, when I have to record, that bill will be considered as a source document. So in accounting, whenever there is any transaction, for that transactions we get some proof in the form of bill or in the form of voucher or invoice. Now these are different names for the same thing, that is a proof indicating that there is some transaction happened. Now the objectivity or the verifiable objective principle of accounting means in accounting there is a principle that each and every transactions must have some proof, and that proof is our source document. They provide information about the nature and amount of transaction. So from bill, what we can understand? From that bill we understand the amount of transaction and for what that transaction happened, that we purchased something or any other thing. Transactions are recorded in the book of account on the basis of these documents. Now we record transactions in the book based on these documents, which are called source document. The correctness of record transactions can be verified with the help of these documents. A source document is the origin of transaction and it initiates the accounting process. So this bill or the source document is the origin of transactions and it initiates the accounting process. So our accounting begins with this source document. With the help of source document we record transactions. Now from the source document, a transaction is first of all recorded in the subsidiary book or the books of original entry. So our first job is to record these transactions using these source documents, that is bills, in a book called book of original entry. Now these books are as follows. So books of original entries are general, cash book. Now cash book may be single column, double column, 3 column and petty cash book. So in cash book also we have different types of cash books. And other day books like purchase book, sales book, purchase return book, sales return book. Now let us understand first journal. The term journal has been derived from the French word jour, which means a day. So journal therefore means a book of daily record. Simple. What is a journal? So you can say that journal is a book of daily record. In other words, journal is a book of account in which transactions are originally recorded in a chronological order. The main feature of journal are as follows. Journal is a book of original entry. Transactions are recorded in the journal as and when they occur, that is, the record is chronological. Journal is so ruled that all the transactions are be passed through it. Journal is so ruled that all the transactions are passed through it, means all the transactions we record in journal. The process of recording transactions in the journal is called generalizing. So what is generalizing? Generalizing is the process of recording transactions in the book. In order to generalize a transaction, it is necessary to arrange it so that we may know which account is to be debited and which account is to be credited. Therefore, the term generalizing include both the analysis of transaction and its actual recording in the journal. So, in generalizing, we analyze transaction. That means we see whether the transaction is of debit nature or of credit nature, and the other part is that we record its amount. The specimen of journal is given below. Now, how this journal book looks like, you can have a feel of it in the books of so and so journal. So, this is the heading is important, and journal. So, this is the format of journal. In this format, you will find date column, then you have a particular column, then you have a ledger folio, then you have a double line, then you have debit amount and credit amount. Here the entry is X debit. So, for debit we write DR and to Y. So, whatever credit we write here, okay, 2. So, first part of the transaction, each transaction has two parts, one is debit and one is credit. So, debit part is written first, okay, with the word DR, and credit part is written with 2, okay. For debit we have separate column, for credit we have separate column, and then we have narration. Narration means we describe it. The following points should be noted. In the first column, date, the date of the transaction is entered and the year is written at the top. Month is recorded on the narrow part of the first column. In the second column, particulars, the name of the account involved are written. First, the account to be debited with the word DR is written towards the end of the column. In the next line, after leaving a little space, the name of the account to be credited is written. Okay, so first we write the account to be debited with the word DR, and then we write, next we write to with the account which we need to credit. Then the next line, a brief explanation of the entry together with necessary detail is given. Then we have to give a short detail that this transaction is for what purpose. This is called narration. A horizontal line is drawn below the narration touching the side lines of the particular column in order to separate one journal entry from the other. The modern practice is to omit the word DR and to from the journal entry. The modern practice is to omit the word DR and to from the journal entries. So, from journal entries, now we do not write this DR and to. Okay. In the third column, LF, the number of page in the ledger on which the account is written up is entered. So, on third column we enter the page number of the ledger account on which this entry which we are doing in journal is going to be recorded. In the fourth column, DR amount, the amount to be debited to the account concerned is recorded, and in the fifth column, CR amount, the amount to be credited to the account concerned is recorded. The totals of DR and CR column must tally. So, the total, finally we add all the DR column and all the CR column, and their total should match. The process of recording transactions in the journal involves the following steps. Find out whether the transaction is a pecuniary transaction. Any transaction which cannot be measured in terms of money will not be recorded in the books of account. So, first we will check whether the transaction which happened involves money. If it is not involved any money, then we will not record. Second, identify the two account, that is two aspect or two parties involved in the transaction. Okay. Third, determine the type of the two account involved. Then we decide which type of account is involved, that is whether it is a personal account or real account or nominal account. So account is of three types: personal, real and nominal. So you have to understand that the accounts which are involved in a particular transactions, they are of which type out of these three. And fourth, then we have to apply the rule of debit and credit to find out which of the two account is to be debited and which is to be credited. Now here for personal account, we have a rule that debit the receiver, credit the giver. For second, that is real account, we have the rule that debit what comes in, credit what goes out. And in third, for nominal account, we have a rule that debit all expenses and losses and credit all incomes and gains. So you have to first analyze the type of account. Once you analyze the type of account, using this rule, you can understand that whether the account is to be debited or to be credited. During a particular month, there may be a large number of transactions which are recorded on several pages in the journal. At the bottom of every page, the two money column DR and CR are added up. So during a month in an organization, there are too many transactions, and when we record them, it end in several pages. So at the end of each page, what we do, we add total debit and total credit amount. The aggregate amount are written in the two column against the word carried forward, okay, in a particular column. So on the next page, once we write the total, then the same amount need to be written on the next page. In the beginning of the next page, the total of the previous page are shown in the respective money column against the word brought forward in the particular column. So on the given page, okay, we write carried forward the amount, and on the next page we write the same amount with the word brought forward. Okay. Now let us understand all these things with the help of this example. Okay. For year 2019, dates are given here: January 1, January 2, January 4, 6, 11, 16, 20, 20, 22, 24, 28 and 31. So on all these dates, there are some transaction happened. First transaction is Ram commenced the business with cash. So here Ram commenced the business means Ram started the business on 1st January with a cash of rupees 50,000. So he has some money, 50,000, he used it and started a business. Then on 2nd January, deposited in the State Bank of India. So what he does, 25,000 he is deposited in the Bank of India. Now on the 4th January, he purchased goods for cash. So 10,000 he utilized for some purchasing. On 6th, purchased goods as credit from Shyam. So on 6th, he purchased the goods on credit. On 11th, he sold goods for cash. On 16th, he sold goods on credit to Kishan. On 18th, he received cash from Kishan. Amounts are given, you can go through it. Paid to Shyam something, paid rent, paid salary to clerk, received interest, purchased furnitures for cash, etc. So these many transactions were done in the month of January. Now for generalization, what we have to do, each transaction we have to identify. So here let us see how the solution is done. So first, Ram commences business with 50,000 cash. This means that firm get cash rupees 50,000. According to the rule, an increase in asset is to be debited. Okay. So firm means we will see from the business perspective, means from the firm's perspective, that when Ram started a business with 50,000, so what happened? In business 50,000 came in. That means asset increased in the business, and whenever there is an increase in asset in the business, we debit it. So the firm also now owes 50,000 to the owner. Now 50,000 come in the business, but this 50,000 is of the owner. That means business have to return this amount to the owner. Okay, so we say that the firm now owes rupees 50,000 to the owner. Ram as capital. Okay, so owner name is Ram, and this amount which company firm has to return to Ram, that amount is called capital. So capital, you remember that whenever a businessman starts a business, okay, the amount which he invests in the business is called capital. Okay, the rule shows that the increase in capital should be credited, and therefore the journal entry is as follows. As in the business, cash increased. Okay, so cash account will be debited with 50,000, and capital account is credited with 50,000. Okay, simple. Whenever you start a business, if you are starting a business with cash, then cash account will be debited. Now cash account is we have to understand type of account. So three types of account are there. One is real account, personal account, and nominal account. Now this cash account comes under real account. Cash is some real thing. Now this real thing is come in the business. Okay, so debit what comes in. So cash account is debited, cash is coming in, cash account is debited. And this capital account, it is the account of owner. Okay, capital account, and owner is giving the money. So for personal account, we have record as credit the giver. So we have credited this 50,000 rupees. Now on the second day, 2nd January, out of this 50,000, 25,000 is deposited in the bank. The transaction reduces the cash. Now what happened when I deposit in the bank from my firm, cash is reducing. Okay, so credit what goes out, so cash will be credited the cash and credit another what is given. The transaction reduces the cash and credits another account, bank account, another something is written. As the increase in asset is debited and decrease in is credited, the journal entry. So here bank account is also of the firm's account only. Okay, so bank account, here bank account, it is debited because in bank, okay, the cash is coming in bank account. So bank account, you can say that bank account is increasing. Bank is also an asset, bank account. Okay, bank account is increasing. So bank account we debit, and as cash is going out, we credit this cash account. The third transaction is that the firm purchased goods for cash rupees 10,000. Now again the cash is gone out of the firm, but at the same time goods came in, we purchased something. So purchase account will be debited. So purchase account you have to debit and cash account you have to credit. Purchase goods for rupees 20,000 on credit from Shyam. Now I am purchasing goods of rupees 20,000 from Shyam. So goods is coming in, but I am not paying anything because on credit I am purchasing it. Okay, so here I will say that purchase account debit because we have purchased goods, goods came in. We have not given any amount, so cash will not involve here. But in future we have to give the same amount to Shyam. So the Shyam account here will be credited. Okay, so purchase account debit, Shyam account credit. Now Shyam account is a personal type of account. So debit the receiver, credit the giver. Okay, so Shyam has been credited here. Sold goods for cash rupees 30,000. Now I have sold goods rupees 30,000. So cash will come in because on cash I have sold. So cash account will debit and sales account I will say is credited because there is decrease in stock. So the transaction increases the cash and reduces the stock. So entry will be stock is related with sales. So I have a sales account. So cash account will debit and sales account will credit. Here we are mostly concerned about increase in asset and decrease in asset or increase in liability. So whenever there is increase in liability, we will credit it. Whenever there is increase in asset, we will debit it. Sold goods to Kishan on credit for rupees 10,000. The stock of the goods is reduced. So sales account will be credited. And Kishan now owes rupees 10,000 that he has to give me. That means our asset is increasing. Kishan now has to give. So here Kishan's account will debit and sales account will credit by 10,000 rupees. Next entry is received cash from Kishan, rupees 10,000. So we have sell goods to Kishan for 10,000 on credit. So we have recorded. Now after some days, Kishan will pay that 10,000. So cash will increase. Okay. So I will write the cash account debit. So the amount of cash is increased and the liability of Kishan disappears. So therefore Kishan account will credit. Paid cash rupees 20,000 to Shyam. Now I have purchased from Shyam, so I have paid Shyam 20,000 rupees. So paid cash 20,000. So cash is going out. So cash will credit and the liability of Shyam is disappeared and cash is reduced. So therefore Shyam's account will debit and cash account will credit. Paid rent rupees 1,500. So again 1,500 cash is reduced and this rent is a expense, okay, is an expense for the firm. So debit all expenses. So here rent account will debit and cash account will credit. Paid is salary. Again salary is an expense. Paid salary rupees 2,000 to credit. So again salary account will debit and cash account will credit. Received interest. Now interest is an income. Cash is increasing. Received interest rupees 500. Cash balance is increased. So cash account will debit and your interest account will credit. Purchased furniture rupees 4,000 for cash. So purchased furniture rupees 4,000 for cash. So cash balance is reduced because cash is going out and furniture is coming in. So furniture account will debit and cash account will credit. Okay. So more number of problems you will solve, you will understand in better way. So like this, the first example you have to read it, go through it, and then you have to solve this example by yourself, okay, without looking in the book. So for practice you can do this. The second example you can try yourself first and then you can see the solution. So again in 2019 we have entry from January 1 to January 31st. Now started business. Again business is started with capital of rupees 1 lakh, then paid into bank 70,000 we have paid into bank, then bought office furniture from Goyal and Company 10,000 we have bought some office furniture. So cash is going out and furniture is coming in. Bought goods for cash. Now we are purchasing something, so purchase account is debiting and cash is going out. Bought from John and Company goods on credit. Now when we are purchasing on credit, then purchase account will debit but John and Company account will credit. Okay. Sold goods to Roy and Company on credit. Now sold, that means our stock is decreasing, so sales account will credit and Roy and Company account will debit. Okay. So once you identify one account, okay, whether we have to debit or credit, the other will be automatically clearer to you, because if one is debiting, the other will credit. Goods returned to John and Company 5,000 rupees. Now we have returned goods to John and Company, so there is a goods returned account. Okay, now we are returning goods, so it is decreasing. Okay, stock is decreasing, so we will credit it. Goods returned by Roy and Company. Now Roy and Company is returning, so in the same way we will discuss. Paid carriage on goods purchased rupees 500. Carriage means some charges like when we hire coolie and he is carrying our luggage, we are paying to him. In the same way for goods, okay, we purchase for carriage, for their transport we pay something, that is carriage. So this is an expense. Paid telephone rent, this is an expense. Paid 1,500 for advertisement by check. Withdraw cash. So when we pay by check, then our bank account will reduce. withdraw cash rupees 2000 for personal use. Now as I'm using for personal use, my capital account will decrease. Paid Goel and Company by check. Now we have purchased some goods from Goel and Company on credit. Now we are paying them by check, so again our bank account will decrease. Drew cash from bank for office rupees 5000. Again I am withdrawing some money from bank for office use. Now I am withdrawing not for my personal use but for office use. Paid check rupees 30,000 to John and Company. Again we have paid by check. Received check of rupees 39,000 from Roy and Company, and here we have received check, so amount will directly go into the bank. Now cash sell rupees 20,000. Now we have done some cash sales, means cash will come in and our stock is decreasing. Paid rent to landlord, again there is some expense. Paid cash salary to office, again there is expense. Received commission, again there is an income. Okay, received commission, so we receive some cash, that is commission is received. Fine. So now we are recording this in our journal book. So see how we record in journal book. Okay, so first transaction, started business with capital rupees 1 lakh. So started business with capital rupees 1 lakh. So our cash account, okay, will debit. So I will write cash account DR, and here I will write amount 1 lakh rupees to capital account. So capital account will credit. Capital account will credit by rupees 1 lakh. Being the capital invested in the business, here we are narrating it. So what we have done here, we have invested capital in the business. So being the capital invested in the business. So your summary, your what we can say that description should be small and clear. Okay. So this is our first record. Now second, paid into the bank 70,000. So what will happen? My bank account will debit by 70,000 and cash account will credit by 70,000. Again, the description is being the amount paid into bank. Always you have to start your description with word being. Okay. Third is bought office furniture from Goel and Company rupees 10,000. Office furniture. So this office furniture is coming in the business, asset is increasing, so office furniture account will debit by 10,000. So here office furniture account is debited by 10,000 rupees and Goel and Company account will be credited by 10,000 rupees, being office furniture bought from Goel and Company. Okay, so whenever we mention the name of company, then that time the transaction will be on credit. Okay, if we are purchasing this office furniture on cash, so here we write that we bought office furniture, okay, for rupees 10,000. Okay, so that means the transaction is in cash. Like the next entry, bought goods for cash rupees 15,000. So we have purchased goods for cash. So from whom we are purchasing, that is not important here because we are giving cash. So my next entry on the 7th is purchase account will debit and cash account will credit. Okay, so here you understand that whenever you are purchasing goods, then you write purchase account, but whenever you are purchasing something else which is not goods, then you write that particular account. Like when you purchased furniture, you have written furniture account, but when you purchase goods, you write purchase account. Now what is the difference between this goods and furniture? So furniture is for permanent use and goods are for again to resell them. So when we purchase something with the view that we will sell it, then that is considered as goods. So being goods purchased for cash. Now on 8th January, bought from John and Company goods on credit rupees 35,000. So now we are using the name John and Company. Okay, we have written credit also. If we have not written, then also it is considered as credit purchase. So bought from John and Company goods. Now we are purchasing, okay, goods. So purchase account will debit and John and Company account will credit. So on 7th, then purchase account is debited on 8th and John and Company account is credited with rupees 35,000. Being goods bought from John and Company. Okay, now the next entry is on 10th. Sold goods to Roy and Company on credit. So when we sold something, okay, our stock is decreasing, so sales account will credit and we have written the name of Roy and Company, so Roy and Company will debit. So Roy and Company will debit by 40,000 and sales account will credit. Okay, if we have sell the goods on cash, then cash account would have been debited. Being goods sold to Roy and Company on credit, this can be the description of transaction. Now, an 11th, goods returned to John and Company, rupees 5,000. So let us see the 11th entry. John and Company, they debited with to return outward account, rupees 5,000. Being goods returned John and Company. So 11th entry is goods returned to John and Company. We have returned, okay, 5,000 worth goods to John and Company. Maybe that is defective or something. So goods returned to John and Company. So as we return goods, our stock is decreasing. So John and Company account is involved. So John and Company account will debit and our goods returned outward account. So when we are returning goods, it is going out. It is goods returned outward. Okay. Now 12th entry is goods returned by Roy and Company. Now Roy and Company is returning goods to us. Then what will happen? Our goods returned inward account will debit because goods are coming in our account. So the 12th entry will be return inward account is debited by 1,000 and to Roy and Company account is credited. Here narration is being goods returned by Roy and Company. Now the next entry on 13th, paid carriage on goods purchased rupees 500. Paid carriage. Okay, so we have paid some charge for goods purchase. 500 rupees charge we have paid. So for 13th, we have recorded carriage inward account 500 rupees to cash account. So cash is going out, the cash account credited, being carriage paid on the goods purchased. 14th entry, January 14th, paid telephone rent by check. Now telephone rent, again this is an expense and here we are paying by check, so our bank account, okay, will lose money. So rent account will debit and bank account will credit. So next entry will be telephone rent account debit and bank account credit, being the telephone rent paid by check. Now 15th is paid rupees 1,500 for advertisement by check. Again my bank account, okay, is losing money, it is going out of the bank. Okay, so bank account will be credited and advertisement, we are doing some advertisement is considered as expense, debit the expense, so advertisement account is debited by rupees 1,500. So advertisement account is debited by rupees 1,500 and bank account is credited by 1,500 and the narration is being check paid for advertisement. Now the next entry, 16th, withdrew cash rupees 2,000 for personal use. Okay, we have withdrew rupees 2,000 for personal use. So again the money is decreasing from the company, so cash account will credit and we are using for personal use. So drawing account, we have capital account and drawing account. Whenever we withdraw money for our personal use, it is considered as drawing. So drawing account is debited by rupees 2,000 and cash account is credited by rupees 2,000. The narration is being cash withdrawn for personal use of the proprietor. On 20th January, the entry on 20th January is paid Goyal and Company by check rupees 10,000. So again my bank account will credit and Goyal and Company account will debit. So on 20th our record is Goyal and Company account debit by 10,000 to the bank account credit by 10,000, being check paid to Goyal and Company. Now 21st, drew cash from bank for office rupees 5,000. Okay, drew cash from bank for office rupees 5,000. So my bank account will credit as money is going away from that bank, but this is used for office only. So for 21st, I will say that cash account debit, because in the form only that cash is coming. So cash account is debit to the bank account, amount is 5,000, being cash withdrawn from bank for office use. Then 24th, on 24th we have paid check rupees 30,000 to John and Company. So John and Company will debit and bank account will credit by rupees 30,000. Then on 27th, received check of rupees 39,000 from Roy and Company. So by bank account will debit and Roy and Company account will credit. Then on 28th, we have cash sale of rupees 20,000. So as we are doing selling in cash, so cash is coming in, so cash account will debit because it is increasing the asset, and my goods are decreasing, so sales account will credit. Always remember your sales account will credit. Now paid rent to landlord. Now we are paying rent to landlord, so again rent account will debit and cash account will credit. So on 29th we will see rent account is debit and to cash account credit. And next is paid cash salary to office staff. So again salary account is debit and cash account is credit. And lastly, we received commission rupees 1,000 in cash. So cash is increasing, so cash account is debit and commission account is credit. So this 31st January we have record as cash account debit and commission account credit. Okay, being commission received in cash. Now finally what we do, we add total of debit column and total of credit column. So their total here it comes as 2,700,000 and 2,700,000. So this is how you do the journal entry. Now what I recommend that you definitely have to write all these transactions in your notebook. Okay, so practice need to be there. So draw again. Okay, if you have not done okay with me in your notebook, then again do all these records. Now past journal entry, so this entry also you record in this format. Okay, this format what is given here, and record all these transactions also. So as you record in your notebook, you will understand in your mind that which account is debiting, which account is crediting. You will also have an idea that how much time you are taking to record the transactions. Yes, so thank you for being with me in this lecture. I hope you understand what we have discussed. If again you feel any problem, so contact me. Okay, don't hesitate, discuss with me, comment, right? Comment in your video. That will help me to understand that whether this is okay or I have to be more elaborate in my explanations. Thank you again for watching.